Very good afternoon and welcome to the European Outlook for Monday, the 9th of September. Hope all is well wherever you are. You've enjoyed the weekend just gone. It was certainly a busy weekend here at Vogan Weather HQ. The Tropical Outlook, as usual, on Saturday, talking about what is now Tropical Storm Francine in the western Gulf of Mexico, expected to become a hurricane over the next few days and make a landfall somewhere within the Gulf Coast region of the United States in the next several days. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on that going forward. We had the live stream yesterday at 4 p.m. as usual, and we were talking about all things winter, as well as Yagi making landfall in China and Vietnam, record-breaking heat, talking a little bit about the cold spell that is coming this week. I say cold spell, obviously with caution. It is a taste of autumn. It isn't anything particularly exceptional for the time of the year, but it certainly will be a rude awakening given the warmth that we had at the end of last week and the beginning of the weekend just gone. So this is the winter 2024-25 early September update. I'll leave a link in the description below today's video, and you can read through that at your leisure. There's quite a lot of information on there. And then I'll also leave a link to the live stream from yesterday. You can watch that back at your leisure. Also, going into quite a bit of detail with regards to that winter update. So that's all freely available for you on both the website and here in the YouTube channel as well. So you can check that out. This is the month to date so far. We've got warmer than average, especially across mainland Europe here. Very, very hot start to September. Across Central and Northern Europe here, we've seen all-time monthly records falling in several places, including parts of Scandinavia, Denmark, for example, and into some parts of Germany also over the past several days. Notice here western parts of France below average and down across Iberia. That's because of that cut-off low that was present there, spinning away over the past several days. We had significant amounts of rain. In fact, Shawbury in Shropshire had its wettest day in some 50 years, I think it was, just the other day. And it was just simply where the rain band had kind of set up. And then we did see that rain that was very much confined to the far south of the UK, kind of spread its way northwards during the weekend just gone there, and kind of allowing the temperatures to come down. Also, we're going to see a significant drop over the next several days here. So this is, like I say, the first 9 days of September. This is what we've got in the next 5 days here. So GFS ensemble showing firmly below average conditions. And if we look at the upper chart, you can see the how this pattern kind of unravels over the next few days. So there is a situation that we had back on Saturday. Cut-off area of low pressure spinning over Biscay here. Strong high pressure to the north. But as we play through the loop here, you can see how the heights come down. And then we have quite a significant push of Canadian Greenland origin air that will drop south, especially on the back side of the frontal system that will push through over the next day or so here. And then we will see temperatures struggling through the middle portions of the week, and then there will be a recovery towards the end of this week and into the weekend here. See high pressure replacing that low pressure. So a bit of a weather whiplash going on at the moment here. Very hot conditions late last week, then very cool conditions middle portions of this week, and then we will revert back to higher pressure and warmer conditions towards this weekend and through next week. You can see here quite a strong high building right over the British Isles here, seen by the GFS ensemble here. If we look at the temperatures and see how this unfolds from that point of view, you can see here the very, very warm conditions across Northern Europe, much of the UK, cool conditions underneath that low over especially western and central France. And look at Iberia, we had some very cool temperatures over the course of the weekend. Then as we progress through the next few days, there's that hammer of autumn coming down from the north, and then it will be replaced again by warmer conditions as we move into next week here. Notice here the cool does linger on for a wee bit here, but we do warm things back above average as we progress through next week here. So it is a bit of a seesaw, but September is a transition month. and no real great surprise when you look at things in the broader picture. So Francine, like I say, now has developed. Current winds at 50 miles an hour, 45 knots, pressure at 1,002 millibars, and movement is north-northwest at around 5 miles per hour. If we click onto this and then look at the cone, the NHC does have this system becoming a hurricane by the time we reach 7 p.m. tomorrow. Then by Wednesday morning, it's it's a relatively slow mover. I say relatively because we're now at Monday. It's not that far from the Texas-Mexico border here, but it's going to take until probably later on Wednesday before it makes a landfall somewhere along the mid-Louisiana coast. Be interesting to see how strong this thing becomes as we go through the next several days here. So 850 temperatures, you can see that we are now starting to kind of mix out that warm air. Annickmore, 4,600 feet above sea level, was 20.6 Celsius the other day. Met Office forecast has a high of 1 Celsius on Thursday afternoon. Strong winds, very cold wind chills, and the possibility of snow showers in the air as well. So this is going to be quite the whiplash for the tops of the mountains here. So hill walkers, for example, will really need to be prepared for that. Shorts and t-shirt weather at the end of the week. It'll be winter woolies by the time we reach the middle portions of this week. So there's that cold air coming straight out of the Arctic. High pressure to the west here. We've got this direct discharge. We've got an area of low pressure that kind of swings to the east, and it kind of just opens the floodgates to this cold air coming down from the north. And then as we play through the European, you see that we start to see a change taking place. Lower pressure near Iceland allows the winds to flip from northwest to then southwest, introducing milder conditions once again. So this is a short little taste of what is inevitably on the way coming up. So it really isn't anything more than that, to be honest with you folks. Looking at the overview chart here of the European model, and you can see area of low pressure kind of develops, kind of deepens as well, 983 millibars, so over the Northern Isles here, and then there's that frontal system seen quite nicely, 980 millibars, so it's actually deepening, notice here, just to the northeast corner of the UK. So some pretty gusty northwesterly winds, by the way. There's that cold front, and that will sweep its way south, cleaning out the warm air that we have had for the past few days. And then we're in that kind of northerly airflow, 18 UTC on Wednesday. If we look at the temperatures at that time, so let's actually look at the UK specifically, and let's have a look at the maximum temperatures, or the two meter temperatures anyway, at least. Look at what Wednesday is going to bring. So we are going to have single digit temperatures for maximums in parts of the Highlands, for example, feeling colder in the wind. And if the winds were to drop off with clear skies, we would see the temperatures drop to freezing, especially in sheltered areas. And then you can see here, we've got 0 showing up here over the Central Highlands. This is a 3 UTC on Friday morning here. And then we could have a few cold nights, and then you can see the milder conditions moving back in once again. But it certainly is going to be a taste of autumn during the middle portions of this week here. And then we'll see the warmer conditions moving back in as we move into the late week and into the weekend here. This is rainfall totals between now and Friday, 13th, 21 UTC. And you can see here the wettest conditions, primarily west and north UK here, drier further south and east you go. Due to the prevailing wind coming from the north, you're going to get those showers blowing in quite vigorously on that northwesterly flow. Looking at wind gusts, and it will get quite windy, I think, especially as that low deepens. So there's that centre of low pressure here. It's almost bang over Lerwick here. We've got wind gusts of 128 kilometres per hour, just in that southwestern corner of the low here, but gusty winds nonetheless across the majority. This is, by the way, tomorrow at 12 UTC. That system then kind of sweeps its way east, and then the cold air comes driving south on that northerly flow. Looking at snow depth, and let's go back to the here now. Play it through the loop, and you can see here that the European model is sniffing out some snow over the tops of the mountains at least. But this is going to be a short-lived spell of cold conditions and more of an autumn reminder, I think is probably the best way to put it. Let's very quickly look at the NAO projections here. So it is going negative. First time really since early June. I've given my reasons for that. The rise in the SOI, etc., etc. We're seeing that warmth within the middle altitudes lifting north, allowing heights to rise over the Arctic and the North Atlantic and Greenland here. So it's that negative NAO pattern. Let's see if we can then get this back later on down the road, say in a few weeks' time, for example. We'll see if this pattern comes back. Repeating patterns is something I'm going to be looking at. Similar idea to last year when we had a few cold spells intermixed with warmer spells. Phase 4 or 5 of the MJO always brings a warmer pattern back to eastern US and western Europe here. The NAO, the Arctic Oscillation, is actually going quite firmly into negative territory, if you notice here. That's quite interesting to see. Let's have a look at the MJO actually and see if it happens to be rotating into slightly colder phases here. So it's in the phases 5 and 6 here. But if we can get it into phases 7, 8, 1, that promotes blocking. And I wouldn't be surprised later on into the month of October, we get that NAO into phases 7 and 8, possibly into 1 as well. We get this increase in the tropics. The Atlantic becomes busier, but also we increase the negative NAO AO pattern with that as well. So that's something that I'm keeping an eye on going forward here. So stick around, check out the winter update, watch back the live stream from yesterday, looking at that winter update, and there is certainly plenty more coming up. We're going to be looking at Francine in particular over the next few days as well. We're going to have separate videos for that also. So stick around, hit that like button if you're enjoying the content, share with your friends and family, and if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'll see you all being well tomorrow with more. Bye for now.